you today? Today I'm completely excited because today I'm going to show you how to make the Winterglow necklace. I promised to make this necklace for a long time, but the funny thing was I had very much trouble with this design. That sounds silly because I already made the Winterglow base of the necklace, but the trouble I had is I didn't want this to be bulky. The thing was, I tried several things. I tried, I used here in this piece some Swarovskis to make a square. I tried that with pearls first, 6mm pearls, 4mm pearls, just the 8mm pearls, because I first started with 3 of the 8mm design Winterglow parts. But the thing was, it was all too bulky and it didn't really attract the how do I say that? The attention to the center part of the necklace, and I really wanted that. Also, I kept in mind that the Winterglow earrings, so that would be with the 8mm, would be big and bulky, so I didn't want our necklace to lose attention. Because the earrings were so bulky, I didn't want the necklace to lose that attention. I wanted to be even, if I explained that well enough. So I thought and tried, and eventually I tried all combinations possible, and I found this one to be the most beautiful, because it really draws your attention to the center part, and I think that will, because of the shine of the Swarovski, will really attract the attention to the earrings as well, but they are one part. So today I want to show you how to make this. First, before we start, I don't show you how to make these because I already made a tutorial on that. So what you're going to do now, I'm going to put a link here. You're going to the Winterglow Earrings tutorial. You're going to make these. The only thing you're going to do different is at the end I'll show you how to make loops so that you can hang it and make earrings from them. But you're not going to attach the loop. The only thing, you're going to make the piece, and then you're just going to tie off at the back, and you can just tie off at the center of the back part. So you're going to do that, and you're going to make one with 8mm beads and one with 6mm beads. I made these with the 4mm Swarovski bicones, but I recommend using 3mm bicones in the same color as your centerpiece, because I do like these, but they are a bit bulky on the design. But if you don't mind that, you can just use the 4mm, but I suggest using the 3mm Swarovski bicones. So you're going to make one middle part that is just the same, so this is with the 8mm pearls, and these are with the 6mm pearls. One thing I also want to say before you go ahead and make that, I get a lot of comments on the Winterglow earrings video that people don't get to see the first part of my design, and that's the middle part of the Winterglow piece. So that's the first 8 pearls. The thing is, if you watch my video, and that is my behind the scenes video, you will see at that video that I have a very small room to make the video itself. So a very small part, if I zoom in, I have a very small part to film my project. So normally I would show you how I make it, and I won't show you the seed beads or the beads I am picking up. But for this part it was very important that you picked up the right beads. So for this video I chose to not show you the piece, because the piece is just the basic right angle weave, just a little different because I use a little bit more seed beads than with a standard right angle weave. But this was just a right angle weave. So please don't freak out to me when you see that you can't see what I'm doing at that moment, because it is more important, and I watched it a dozen times myself. It is very clear what I'm saying, which beads you have to pick up. I'm showing which bead you have to pick up. I'm showing if you need a pearl, an 8/0 or an 11/0. So it should not give you any trouble to make the first piece. And when I'm at the top, so I made just with the 8 pearls, then from that moment on I'm just showing you every single step how to make this project. So please keep that in mind. I also announced it in the beginning of the video, so in the beginning of the tutorial, so if you read that, you know why. Well, now I'm going to show you which materials you need. As you can see, I already made the first part of the necklace because the one side is just the same as the other side. So in that way I could finish it up really fast to show you how it looks at the end. So I'm going to show you now which materials you will need. Okay. This is what you will need. You will need 22 pearls. You can also make it shorter, you can make it longer. It is just what you like, but I use 22. You will need some 8/0 beads. You will need some 11/0 beads, and these are in the same color as you would use for your Winterglow piece. You will need 2 needles, and I use size 12 needles. You will need a ring. 2 rings actually, because I already attached one there. You will need a clasp, and you will need some thread, and you will need 4 Swarovski 4mm bicones. So that can be also 3mm bicones, it's just what you like, but I like to use the 4mm ones because I use that to do in between the pieces. And of course you will need the 3 pieces, as I told, 1 8mm and 2 6mm pieces. So let's start. Start with threading 2 needles with about 1 arm span of fine line or thread of choice. I just used Ceylon. You can also use a little bit less. It is just what you're comfortable working with. I like to work with at least 1 arm span, but you won't use it up all the way. So if you don't like to waste your thread or using fine line that is more expensive, you can also choose to work with, let's say, a half an arm span. Now we're going to pick up our middle piece, and of course mine is already attached to the other one, but that doesn't really matter. What we're going to do now, we're going to start at this point, so that if you would hang it like this, it would be on the sides. Because I choose to hang it on the sides because it has an angle in that way, and that really backs up the design of the square. We're going to take 1 needle and we're going through the 8mm that is in between the pearls. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so that you can see that. So that is this 8mm. And pull. And now I'm going to take that same needle and I'm going up through the second and the top 11/0. Like this. And pull. Now we're going to take the other needle and we're also going through on the opposite side the 11/0 and the top 11/0. Like this, and pull. And what you're going to do now, you're going to lay your work down. You're going to take your 2 needles together and you're just going to even out by pulling, even out your thread. So I evened out my threads now. Sorry, I went through my own thread at the top bead and I didn't want that. So I have an equal piece of thread on both sides. Now we're going to pick up 1 11/0 on each needle and slide them down. So just on the back side of your needle. And then we're going to pick up 1 Swarovski 4mm on each needle. Like this, and slide them down. And I'm going to slide them all the way down now. Like this. And then we're going to pick up 180 and we're going through this bead crisscross. So I'm going with my one needle, I'm going through the bead, and with the other needle I'm going through that same bead through the opposite side and pull. And then I'm going to pick up one Swarovski 4mm on each needle again. Like this. And then I'm going to pick up one 11/0 seed bead on each needle and slide them down. Like this. And now we're going to pick up one of the, in your case, one of the 6mm pieces. And we're going to work on the same side as we would do on the middle piece. So I'm going to work on the middle part of the, so this middle part in between the pearls. I'm going to pick up my right needle in this case, and I'm going through the top bead and the next seed bead that is next to that one. And pull. And then with that same needle I'm going through the 80 that is in between the pearls. Now I'm going to pick up my other needle and I'm going through the top bead and the second bead on the opposite side, like this, and pull. And then again, then again I'm going through the 80 bead in the middle, also on the opposite direction, and pull. And now I'm going to just gently tug on my work, like this. And now you can see it already closes up a little bit. Now we're going to turn our work around, and I'm going to lay my seed beads on the side. We're going to turn our work around, and now we're going to work to the other way because we want to secure this, because the Swarovski tend to cut your thread and we don't want that. So I'm going to pick up my work and I'm going to hold my 8mm piece between my two fingers, and with my thumb I'm holding the 6mm piece. In this way your Swarovski won't slide off too much. Now I'm going to pick up my right needle and I'm going through the next seed bead, and the next seed bead, it would be the top seed bead, and the next seed bead next to the 4mm. And as you can see, I go through this sideways and pull. And now we're going to lay that needle down, and we're going to pick up our other needle, and we're going to do the same thing in the opposite direction. So I'm going through the next seed bead and what would be the top seed bead, and I can do this in one time, so I will pull at this point, and then through the next 11/0 that is next to the 4mm bicone, and pull. Now I'm going to lay my work flat, and I'm going to gently tug on my work so that everything is secure, like this. And then again I'm going to pick up my work, I'm going to pick up my right needle, and I'm going through the next Swarovski bicone, the next 8mm, and the next Swarovski bicone, again in a sideways movement. So through this one, the 8mm bead, and then through this one. So you're forming a cross in this way. And now I'm going to pick up my other needle, and I'm going to do the same at the other side. I'm going through the Swarovski bicone and through the 8mm, and I'm going through the Swarovski bicone again, like this. Now I'm going to work with the same needle and I'm going through the next seed bead, the next seed bead that would be the top seed bead, and through the next seed bead that is next to that one. And then I'm going through the 8/0 seed bead that is in the middle. Now I'm going to pick up my other needle and I'm going through the next seed bead. The next seed bead, it would be the top seed bead. And if you can in once, the next seed bead that is next to that one. And pull. And then I'm going through the next 8/0 seed bead. Like this. Now I'm continue to work with the same needle I'm holding. So now I'm going through the next seed bead and the next pearl. So that is the pearl next to the next seed bead. And I'm going through the next seed bead, if you can in one time, that is next to that pearl. And I'm going to do the same at the other side. So I'm going to take this needle and I'm going through the next seed bead, the next pearl and the next seed bead and pull. Now I'm going to turn my work around and I'm going to start with my right needle, and I have to see if I'm in focus. Yes. Now I'm going to take my right needle, so I turned my work around and I'm going to take my right needle and go through the next 8/0 and through the next 11/0 seed bead. And then I'm going through the next 8mm, so that's the pearl, and through the next seed bead that is on the opposite side, so that's the next 11/0. And pull. And then I'm going through the next 8/0 that goes to this pearl, so then the pearl towards the middle. And pull. And then I'm going through the pearl, so that's the pearl towards the middle, and the next seed bead, and that will be the seed bead that is in the middle. So that would be that one. And pull. And now I'm just going to make a knot with this, with my thread. And I'm going to do that like I always do that. I'm going underneath the thread that is already there. And then I'm going to make a loop and pull in that loop, and I'm going to do that 2 more times. And be careful, because I now just wrapped around my my seed bead, and you don't want that, because then you get the thread, you can see the thread around the seed bead. And pull. And once again, can't really see it when I can't hold it close to my face, sorry. And make a loop like this. And then I'm just going through a few beads. So in this case I'm just going through the next 11/0 and the next pearl. And this doesn't really matter where you come up, but just come up. Oh, don't want to knot at this point. And pull. And now you're just going to cut your thread, because we're going to make a separate, and this is not a good scissor. I bought a new scissor, but it has a room in the middle, so it doesn't really cut. But okay. And now we're going to do exactly the same with the other needle. So I'm going to pick up my other needle, and I have to get this thread around, away from it. So I'm going to do exactly the same. So I'm going to pick up my other needle and I'm going through the next 8mm and the next 11/0 and pull. And I'm going through the next purl, and if you can in one time the next purl that is next to that, and sometimes it can be hard. Like this. And then I'm going through the next 8/0. Oh. And then I'm going through the next purl and the next 11/0. And now I'm just going to do the same. I'm just going to make a loop and then do that 2 more times. Like this. And then I'm going through the beads. And as I said, this can be anywhere where you like it. Can also just stay in the middle, because this feels very strong, because I had a lot of thread going through that. So that's strong enough for me. And then I'm just going to cut it. So as I said, you can go through the beads as many times as you want, but I just do it like this way, in this way, sorry. Now, we have, or at least I have my middle part attached. What you're going to do now is you're going to attach the second part that you have on the middle part like we just did. And if you've done that, we're going to make the other piece. And for that piece, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Okay, for this part, you're going to need to thread your 2 needles with about 1.5 arm span of thread. And we're going to start at the same point as we did on the previous row. So we're just going to go to the opposite side of this piece, and we're going to work on this piece in between the pearls. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to take one of our needles and we're going through the middle 8/0 seed bead. So this is just like we did before, like this, and pull. And again, you're going to even out already your thread. Maybe it's easier to do it at this point. And now I'm going through with my right needle. I'm going through the next seed bead and the next seed bead, that would be the top seed bead. And pull. And I'm going to do exactly the same at the other part. So I'm going to pick up my work and I'm going through the next seed bead. And it's really hard to show this. And what would be the top seed bead, and I can do that in one time without moving out of the frame. Oh, sorry, I've got a knot. Okay, like this. Now, on both needles, we're going to pick up 1 11/0 seed bead. And then I'm going to pick up with 1 8/0, and I'm going in the same direction with my other needle through this same 8/0 bead. And pull. And now make sure that your threads are even, because you will need this later. And now I'm going to zoom out so that you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we ended with the 8/0, and we're going to pick up 1 8mm, and I'm going through with my other needle in the same direction and pull. Like this. And again, I'm going to pick up 1 8/0 and I'm going through this bead the same direction with my other needle and pull. And again I'm going to pick up one pearl and I'm going through this through the same direction with my other needle. Now you need to do the first part like this, because in this way you will have more security that this stays strong. What I'm going to do from now, I'm going to pick up my 8/0 beads, and with one needle, so this one I'm leaving this thread alone. With one needle I'm going to pick up 1/8/0, 1/8 millimeter, 1/8/0, 1/8 millimeter, 1/8/0, and so on until you have all of your pearls on, and we're going to end with 1/8/0 bead. So go ahead and with this one needle thread on all of your 8/0s and your 8 millimeters, and then I'm coming back to you. Now I've threaded on all my 22 beads, and now I'm going to leave this needle alone, so I'm going to stick that in my beading mat, so when I make an accident not all my beads fall off in an instant. So I'm going to take my other needle now, and I'm going to pick up my beads, and as much as you can at one time. Just be careful that you don't go through your own thread, because that will make some knots. I'm going with the other needle, and I ended with the second pearl. I'm going through the 8/0 and the next pearl, and the next 8/0 and the next pearl, and then just pull and pull both your threads to see if you don't have a knot or something like that. And again pick up some beads and go through the next 8/0, the next pearl, the next 8/0, the next pearl, and then just pull your thread to see if you don't have any knots, or that you don't went through your own and I do have a knot here now, that you didn't went through your own thread. And you're going to do this until you have go through all the beads with your other needle. Okay, now I went through all of my beads, and make sure to pull it tight. What I'm going to do now is completely optional, because this part is not required. So if you want to, if you want to skip this, you can just skip this, but I like to do it because it gives me I have the feeling it helps. Let's say it like this. What I'm going to do now, and be careful that you don't pick up your work after this, because your work will just slide off, because the knot won't hold enough. What we're going to do, or at least what I do, is I make 3 knots at this point when I'm done. And the reason I'm doing this is because I have the feeling that when I'm doing this, my the tension on my threads stay even. So maybe I'm just imagining this, but I think it works. Now what we're going to do now, we're going to thread our needles, because I unthreaded them at the end of this, because I think it works just a little better. But if you don't mind doing this, you can also do this without. We're going to take our ring, and I suggested, if you can come by these, I find these very hard to find, so I'm just using a jump ring. But if you have closed rings, it would be wonderful if you use a closed ring for this. With one needle I'm going through the ring, and if you can't come by a closed ring, I suggest that you turn it towards your work with the closed side. So I went through it with one of the needles, and then I'm just going to make a knot. And really see if you don't get it on that opening part, because I want that to be on the top. So I'm just turning it and make a knot, and I'm going to make another knot. and be sure that you don't go around your so not on top of your ring. And I'm going to zoom this in a little so that you can see the next steps better. Okay, what I'm going to do, so as I said, I made another knot, so I already made one. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go with my other needle again through the ring, and I'm going to make another knot. Like this. And now what I like to do is I make another knot on one side of the ring, so that would be on this side, and then I'm going to make another knot, and then I'm just flipping my ring over and I'm making that knot on the other side, as far as I do this correctly now. And I do this a few times because I want a few knots around the point where, around the point where I attach my ring, if that makes sense. So I'm going just underneath, so on the thread that holds my ring. And I do this a few times until I certainly know that it is secure enough and that I think it is strong enough. So you can go through the ring a few times and then make a few knots underneath it. Just when you think it is strong enough, it's good enough. And then I'm going to take my one needle, and it doesn't matter which one, and I'm just going back through the beads. And I'm not going through all the way, because I'm just going to go through a few of the beads until I have, I think I have enough, I went enough downwards. So a few beads, so I go around 5 or 6 pearls down. And I like to end in a pearl. And then I'm just going to cut my thread there. So again, I'm just going to pick up my beads. And I'm just going through the first 8 and like this. Sometimes I'm having a little trouble. And now I'm just going through the beads down until I am at the 7th bead, because I like to do this one a little further than the previous one. And the reason for that is that I don't want my threads to end at the same point, because I'm afraid that with the tension of the first thread I will pull out another one. So I'm going down. And you don't have to be exact by this. You can just see like if you're satisfied at your point, and then you're just going to cut it off. So there we have our necklace, and I really hope you like this. Please let me know if you made this and if you like this style. Of course, you can also make your own style. You already sent me a few photos of what you made and what you made up yourself. Beautiful. I love them all. And they were very creative, and most of them were very different from what I had in mind. Some of them, you know who I mean. I told you that I would use your idea of the 2 pieces of 6mm in my work, because that was a very nice touch. You can also make the earrings of these. I think even that these are small enough to use as a ring. As you can see, it would be a larger ring, but not super large. So you can also use these to make a ring extra. But that is just the same as the technique as we're doing now. Just sorry, just attach something to this to make a band on your finger so that it holds your finger. But I really hope you like this. I loved all your creations and I hope you like mine too, because this is a little different from what I've seen. But I really hope you like this. You can also make your own creation, but I thought I came up with this. So please let me know if you like this video. Please give me a thumbs up if you like this video. I would love that. Please subscribe if you're not a subscriber yet. I will upload about a video every week. Sometimes I don't have the time, but I try to upload a video every week. I also have a crafting channel. If you didn't check that out already, please check out my crafting channel. The link is down below in the info box with all the info of my other social media. So all the links are down below in the info box. And I hope you like this project and we'll see you the next time. Bye! Have a nice day!